On this episode of Extemporizers, we're going to look at a track from a couple of years ago, actually, that Jeff and Dean and I put down, based on an initial chord sequence by Jeff, it turns out. And we found ourselves talking about this track during the last discussion about 4 axles on the floor, so we went with it. So here's Undo Redo, and then we're going to have a chat about it.
The producers wish to apologize for the overt display of naked foot and calf in the video which follows. Viewer discretion is advised.
I still love that undo redo.
Yeah, that was good. That was Jeff's chords, essentially, that one. That's a good video.
I think that'd be a good one for Ken to come on some vocal for.
Yes,
Tom York, Ken.
And well, how to not sound like Tom York? How do you not sound like Tom York on that?
No, you embrace it. You must sound
like Tom York.
But that's the other title for that song, is not Radiohead, right?
Radiohead's thing was they do a song and then they have a bit where it goes off. Like you listen, all of their songs have a bit where they go off. It's just their thing. Like they just lift, and they go, right, okay. Like, so they're really good to hear live, you know. That doesn't. It's just got like this kind of one feel pretty much the whole way through. But it's just hypnotic. You know, it's a really good, that's what I kind of like about undo redo. Like doesn't necessarily evolve too much, but it just has some really good moments in it. Like it just sort of has this bit of like an underlying tension that just hangs there. And it's like that, it's that parallel keys, right? Like, so going the major, minor, you know, through that. And then, you know, we did it. I think we added the, like a sort of few transition bits.
There is a middle eight.
It just keeps going round and round. Like, you know, it just keeps going round and round, and your, like, solo approach over it, I think, is really good too. Like it just, yeah. Anyway,
I was just listening to it just now whilst you were chatting, and Ben's guitar is actually from the very first. It's like you've got like you coming with the drums, and then almost immediately, it just sounds great.
It feels to me like a part of a suite. So it wouldn't necessarily, you know, you wouldn't package that up as a single or as a 3-4 minute song on its own. It feels like to me like it's part of it's a bigger piece of a larger suite.
Yeah, maybe, but it could be like The Wall Part 2.
If you had a triptych, so like three songs melding into one thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's the thing that I like about it. It starts, it does its thing. There's nothing contrived about it. It's just it is what it is. It's not afraid to be what it is. It does its business, and it slows down a bit towards the end, and we're done.
It's harmonic. Well, I think it's harmonically interesting, right? So that's the thing that gets it, but doesn't like do a key change or anything. You know, it's like it's pretty much just does its thing, and that's it. But because it's modulating, you know, the whole time, like that gives us this like just really sort of unsettling feeling, which is what you're kind of going for. And then with the way that the guitar is soloing over it, that tugs at those bits. And like when you hear those guide tones, when you go from that like major to minor third, like it's just it's so good. So there's a couple of like, even when we did the very first improvisation of it, I remember like, so I like recorded a version of that song and I went back and listened and I like learned a couple
I remember
of
that, yeah.
I played over it. Like they were just really, really good. They just had this perfect soaring thing. And that was when we had, you know, Malcolm's keys over the top as well, which were you know, had that really sort of soaring quality of it. So, you know, I think there's stuff like that we could do that's really interesting. But I feel like that would be one that's just like a moody sort of piece that kind of just sits in there, doesn't move around too much. It's not too flash, not too fancy, but
and nor should it be.
It's perfect in the way it is, you know, because we have, let's face it, plenty of other stuff where we were all over the shop, right? Where there's more interesting things going on.
I think it really needs to be worked into something sort of really good. For me, that'd be, if you wanted to choose a next song to treat, that would be the one.
That's interesting.
Have you had any vocal thoughts?
I did, but no, I've forgotten. I had something.
We can add a new bit to it. You know,
yeah, I think it would be good with some lyrics if it was just right, just in the right place. But it would have to be like a little bit minimal.
Yeah, if it started off minimal lyrics, you'd want a slight voice, not an overpowering voice. It does its thing, and then maybe that then can modulate into an instrumental section. And
because the nice thing about that harmonic progression too is you could do a key change. There's this break and then it goes up to the A minor and to the A major, right? You could just keep going from there in that key, right? And then you could modulate to
right.
key.
That could lead us back to the vocal section once we've done the instrumental bit, and doing a massive dramatic modulation from the vocal section in the instrumental is easy. That's no problem.
Because you can pretty much, so if you do that parallel minor thing, you do a 2/5, you can pretty much modulate to half the keys, right? Which could be a fun thing to do, although maybe it's too much. Maybe you just want to do it to 1 up, just go up that half step or something like that.